I can't hear you, but what did you say?
A CCTV camera in Johannesburg captured this moment when a Porsche driver outsmarted carjackers who were clearly on a mission to rid him of his precious car. As the white Porsche drove calmly on the road and turned onto the pavement, a silver sedan drove past him and suspiciously stopped a little distance away. The thief got out with his gun, aiming at the expensive car. The Porsche driver at this point had already noticed what was going on, so he immediately backed up into the road again, leaving the thief extremely confused. In a split-second decision, the Porsche zoomed past the silver sedan, and the thieves had no choice but to eat the dust left behind. This Range Rover driver pulled into his yard, followed by a couple of robbers in another car. Just as he brought his car to a halt, the robbers approached, intending to steal something. Little did they know, the man was not to be messed with. He immediately fired shots right from his car, and the robbers immediately took to their heels.
So that was your shot?
It's my, yeah.
Oh,
That was your show. Yeah.
But the man wouldn't let them go so easily. He stepped out to get a better angle for his shots. Startled, the robbers were forced to scramble out of the yard.
Hey, quel est mon
Oh, that was your...
Yeah.
This car's dash cam captured a robbery attempt. It was a regular day when the robber approached the car and reached for his weapon.
Who told you to do it? Taylor. She said she saw on the Facebook. Oh.
The driver would not allow himself to be robbed, so he immediately shifted gears to reverse and hit the gas. But would the robber give up just like that? He tried to give chase, but how could he catch up to a moving car? He stopped when he realized it was pointless and flew into the bush, and thus the attempt failed miserably. Even robbers aren't safe from other robbers. This video, posted by the Intelligence Bureau of South Africa, shows a robber holding a store clerk at gunpoint while at the same time stuffing his bag with currencies. The clerk ducked behind the counter as he let the robber do his thing while looking around to make sure he didn't get caught. However, he didn't expect another man to crawl on the ground and steal some currency notes that fell. He did his act and left as quietly as he came, with the robber completely unaware. In broad daylight, a criminal walks into an open compound, leaving the gate open. He immediately pulls out his gun and orders the couple to hand him their belongings. They comply, handing him phones and a purse. The robber walks out the gate, but it appears he isn't done because he immediately rushes back when he sees another potential victim. He pulls out his gun again and points it at the new victim, making the same demands. It seems a good day for him as he walks away with his loot. A regular day became a nightmare for some shoppers in an open market. A security guard was seen pulling a bag of cash towards a vehicle when the unexpected happened. Shots rang in the air, and shoppers ducked for cover. The security man fled as the robbers grabbed the bag and disappeared into the alley just the way they came. It has become a concern how robbers use careful plans to execute their devious acts. Their moves are simply surprising. An excellent example is this robbery in Polokwane. The whole incident was caught on camera. This man's day turned from busy to a nightmare in an open market. The video shows a group of men standing around a booth wearing face masks. Then the man approached the booth, probably to make some payments. Little did he know that fate had planned something big and bitter for him. As he dropped his load, one of the suspicious-looking men held him from behind in a strangling position. The others wasted no time as they proceeded to dip their hands in his pockets, and other customers took to their heels. It's somewhat surprising that the robbers paid no mind to passers-by as they carried out their business and made away with the helpless man's valuables, smoothly blending into the crowd. In Krugersdorf, a money truck was attacked when the guard attempted to stow the bag in the trunk. The robbers appeared like ghosts. The guard, though shocked, couldn't do anything as some of the robbers held onto him, threatening him, while the others made away with the cash. The entire operation lasted less than 5 minutes. The guard attempted to give chase, but failed. While returning to the vehicle, he was almost knocked down by the van. One can imagine their heavy hearts as the truck drove away. A person's guard is usually down when standing in front of their house, but this man was different. The video shows 2 men standing by the road when a car pulls up in front of them and an armed robber emerges from it. Before the robber could aim, this man already had his gun out and was already firing shots. Shocked, the robber even forgot to go back to the car and immediately ran for his life. This daylight robbery was captured on camera in Cape Town. It's probably one of the easiest robberies captured on camera, but it must have been hell for the victim. The video shows a van about to leave when another vehicle pulls up beside it. A group of men filed out and immediately descended on the truck, emptying it of its contents. The van driver could only raise his hand in surrender. The white vehicle that pulled up later didn't understand what was happening until after some time, and the driver immediately backed away upon realization. The robbers completed their heist and got away. Even gated houses are not safe anymore, and this raises concerns. Watch as the man walks up to this gate. He looks around to be sure he's alone, then breaks the lock with a plier.
People watching. Pliers come out, and there you can see wedged in between the pedestrian gate and the
Breaking the lock was far from easy, though. He struggled with it for a few minutes before eventually breaking it. He then goes into the compound. Moments later, we see him exiting the compound, but this time he's not empty-handed. He comes out with his loot, a bicycle. What's more concerning is that he leaves the place as calmly as he came.
Thanks for closing the gate, and not even a minute and a half for the whole incident. The moral of the story is,
In a miscalculated attempt, a robber chose the wrong person to rob. CCTV captured this man standing by the roadside, engrossed in his phone. He seemed to be taking a break from something when suddenly, another man who looked like a regular passerby approached and whipped out his gun, but the intended victim was prepared. He immediately prepared himself and swung his umbrella at the robber, hitting him across the head and sending him crashing miserably to the ground. Traffic in Johannesburg turned ugly for this Honda driver. Following the traffic, he stopped. He didn't expect another vehicle to pull up in the other lane, and robbers would troop out of it.
They are all armed. They are robbing.
The robbers were all armed and approached the Honda like they would tear it apart. They searched the car, checked the trunk, and found nothing.
Okay, it took place in Commissioner Street.
You'd expect that they would leave him after that, but no. They pulled the driver out, beat him, and then led him away from the vehicle.
You see? Beating someone.
It's alarming how smart criminals are. Watch this woman walk peacefully with another man behind her, but her day is about to sour.
we'll come back into view shortly, but have a look at the guy walking behind the student. Now, she actually noticed something was wrong because she looked behind, but then this guy pretended.
A white sedan passes them as the man purposefully approaches her. The lady noticed something.
The student's guard was down, and that's when he attacked her to get the cell phone.
Before she can react, the man grabs her phone, and they struggle with it for a while. When he eventually snatches the phone, he watches as he runs towards the same white car from earlier and makes his getaway.
And there's that same white car waiting for him now that he's got the phone, and then they drive off.
This video shows a group of thieves ruining some people's hard work. They had stopped this cash van and forced the occupants into the back of the vehicle as they looted it. With guns in hand, they were effective as they moved the money bags to their vehicle and sped off before things went south for them. These robbers successfully robbed this store, and one by one, they got away. You can see them carrying rifles, showing that they meant business. But they were mistaken if they thought they could get away with it. They didn't get far before the police got on their tail, and a shootout followed. It wasn't their luck after all. On April 16, 2021, in Johannesburg, this vehicle was driving on the N1 National Road in Linwood. The occupants had just returned from a bank, having withdrawn a large sum. The video shows the vehicle driving at moderate speed on the highway when the unthinkable happens. The day turns sour when a white sedan pulls up in front of them. Some men came out of the vehicle carrying AK-47 rifles. We see one of the robbers standing guard, while others empty the car. Though we don't know what happened in the vehicle, it's clear that the car was gone. They then drove off, leaving the occupants in too much shock. CCTV captured this video in Gauteng. The driver displayed remarkable, quick thinking. What began as a regular day quickly developed into the near loss of a car. She had just driven her car into her driveway and got out of it when a sedan pulled up behind her, and a gun-wielding man came out. The lady quickly got back in her car and hit reverse, stunning the robber, who immediately got into his car and flew in shame. These two men walking down the sidewalk had no idea what was coming. Two hoodlums approached them and suddenly grabbed them by the neck. They took their valuables and tried to walk off, but not so fast. The police spotted them and chased them hotly after them. Reports are that the muggers were arrested. The Intelligence Bureau of South Africa posted this video on Facebook. It shows two security guards trying to open a door with white money bags beside them, but the money was about to disappear in 12 seconds. Out of nowhere, a group of thieves suddenly attacked them. The robbers wasted no time. They held the guards and gradually lowered them to the ground, all while pointing their guns. Then they grabbed the bags and took off. This guard was moving a box containing money in a mall in Durban. It was typical cash in transit. But the day was about to turn ugly. Four armed men speedily approached him with their pistols. One of them hit him, causing him to fall to the ground. He was then moved to a corner. The robbers made their escape with the cash. This next robbery took place directly inside a foreign exchange office in Limpopo. A woman is seen opening the doors while trembling. Then, the robbers casually walk in like they own the place. Another robber came in, dragging someone who looked like a security guard. They went straight to where the money was kept. One of them brought a blue bag, and the other stuffed it with currency. No one disturbed their operation all through, and even the security guard lay flat on the ground and remained there until the criminals strutted out of the place as calmly as they came in. On September 7th, 2018 in Johannesburg, a cash van stood outside, accompanied by security guards, waiting for the cash to be brought in. The scene looked normal, but little did they know that things would not go as usual. When the man with the money came into view and attempted to open the van door to get in, the previously idle man in blue immediately sprung into action. He brought out his gun and charged towards him. Then more guys with guns appeared, completing their operation together. This woman withdrawing at an ATM was about to have her say go sour. The suspiciously looking man approached her and showed her something on the paper. Then he took over, operating the machine by himself. The frightened woman could barely move a muscle, but she still tried to defend her money, though it was fruitless. Then it happened. Just as she pressed withdraw and the money came out, the man led her away from the machine, and his accomplice immediately stepped up and retrieved the cash. This next video is a perfect example of daylight robbery gone wrong. A white Hilux pulled up to the side of the road and the driver got out. Before he could do anything, though, another vehicle pulled up behind it. The robbers quickly exited the vehicle and attempted to hijack the Hilux, but when one of them made his way to the other side of the car, things took a shocking turn. The other occupant of the car was armed, and before the door dummy opened, he started shooting. The shootout lasted for quite some time. The robber who got hit could not move and remained on the floor till his friends helped him into the car. An incident in Hillsborough had people questioning the safety of residents in that area. A man and his friend were walking down the road when 3 robbers accosted them out of nowhere. The man in white tried to escape, but was surrounded and brought to the ground. His friend stood uselessly by the side doing nothing while the other was being robbed. A taxi pulled up, but the driver was too scared to come out or didn't care. In the end, both men were robbed of their belongings and still had to leave by the same taxi. In Krugersdorf, a robbery incident occurred that left a man without his car and other valuables. The video shows a white SUV parked in a lane, then a black car pulled up beside it. The robbers were in the back car, waiting for their target to exit the building.
They wait for him to come out first. Fuck's sake, that's bad, bro.
When the man came out, he noticed nothing and walked straight to his car. But as soon as he opened the door and got in, the robbers started to file out, forcing the man to leave the vehicle without his valuables and drive off. This man defended himself from an attempted robbery. He found himself in a harrowing situation in broad daylight, but showed strength. He was about to get into his car when 4 guys accosted him, but he wasn't one to give in. The man held onto his knife and stood his ground, successfully fending off the robbers.
Like, stop! Guys never cease to
A delivery man took matters into his own hands when robbers approached him. He noticed them the moment he stopped, so he went to his box, opened it, and kept his hand inside it, pretending to check for something. As the robbers approached confidently, the man quickly brought out a machete, startling the thugs, who immediately took to their heels, running for dear life. This guy almost caused himself a severe injury in the process of an attempted robbery. A car was driving on the highway, and he foolishly jumped in front of it, pointing a gun. The driver didn't even slow down. Instead, he attempted to run him over. The robber immediately stepped out of harm's way to preserve his life. This man was walking calmly in Heathfield when his day became a nightmare. A bakkie drove past, and 3 black men jumped out of it. They all pounced on the young man, stripping him of his valuables while also beating him. No one came to his aid until the whole ordeal was done. In Durban, a woman was stuck in traffic, and 2 guys thought it was an excellent opportunity.
They're going towards this Taz. There's the 2 suspects there. They go towards the Taz.
They approached her from across the lanes and snatched her bag and cell phone from inside the car, but the lady immediately took off after them.
The bag. Car tries to help. They go running back. The 1 suspect's got the bag.
They were in for a rude shock if they thought they'd get away with it. The lady didn't just take off after them in her car, she gave chase, and after a short pursuit, she ran one of them over. A good way to foil a robbery.
There's the suspect. The lady knocks him. Lovely. There's the ATS. Rushes off.
This migrant in his Uber car had the worst day. It started as a regular day for him, but the nightmare happened when 3 guys stuck their heads in his car. He was robbed of his money and cell phone. He tried to argue with them initially, but nothing was going in his favor, so he had to give up his belongings. Just as they started hitting him, he immediately drove the car away, leaving them behind. But the deed had been done, and it showed in his expression how pained he was. This video involves a very confused robber. The SUV drove in, and the gate was yet to close completely when a car stopped. The driver stepped out to talk with the ladies. Then, this guy came running to the car with obvious intention. As he approached the SUV, the driver quickly threw the key to the roof, leaving the man even more confused. The victim stood his ground against the confused robber when he tried to attack physically, startling him and leaving him with no choice but to run back the way he came. A regular day almost became a nightmare for this lady who came out to collect her Uber Eats order. Look closely at the watch as the guy in red and white walks suspiciously. As the lady collected her package and turned to walk away, he immediately attempted to snatch her phone, but the lady was surprisingly strong and didn't let go. The robber had to run away before it was too late.
야.